Hello. A company called Shandong Hongda Mining has reportedly paid 300 million US dollars for Jagex in this major acquisition deal. Now, it's a Chinese company that's worth mentioning, and this could heavily impact the game as we know it, Runescape. People are already cancelling the membership. This picture here represents what old school could be in the next couple of months. Now, I wouldn't mind buying full HP, but I don't know about purchasing speech rights. Everything else looks good though, just kidding. Before we take a look at the company's house for Jagex Limited, which is why people have a right to be concerned if you look at the history of when the changeovers happened and when the updates happened, we're going to take a look at this graph here. Jagex started out like this, so the Gowers created the game and they had an equal share in the business, and it was also self-funded, meaning that they put their own money into it, to invest into it, to make it work. But then as time went on, they charged for membership. I've seen in interviews where they talk about the first money they started to make was from the membership fees, and it soon turned into a business and spiraled into the size that it did. But then in 2006, Insight Venture Partners bought a 35% share, and then after many years of success and some of the biggest profits the company ever had, the Gowers thought, fuck this, we're done and we're out of it. Let's get out the game and make our departure. So the Gowers in 2011 departed. And then 1 year later in 2012, Insight increased their share to 55% from 35%. And then months after that, we've seen the introduction of microtransactions, which everyone loved not. So we've seen Squeal of Fortune, Solomon's General Store. Later that year, even the evolution of combat, a lot was invested into that. So Insight, which, a lot of people didn't like for the very reason that they came in with the approach of not what is good for the game, but what is good for their pockets. I think right now it is far too early to assume the worst, which an overwhelming amount of people are doing, as you have no clear idea of what direction they want to take the game in. So this could actually be a really positive thing, and this company want to get on board. They want to take this game to a whole new level and really get it out there. And instead, people are like, right, this is the end, and it's going to be pay to win from now on. I mean, absolutely, it's known that some Chinese investors or companies will buy into these, companies that are existing and have sort of morals, and they've built up a reputation, and all of a sudden they add all these features to, increase revenue, and in turn it destroys the game. So I'm not saying that can't happen, because it very, very much could, but right now just don't assume too much, as we don't know if this is good or bad for the game yet. One thing I will say though, is that if they bought this for $300 million in cash as well, what did they send it in briefcases? That's £200 million. Now, last year the game made 20 million, let's say. Okay, let's round it down. That's a 10% return on their investment every year. So it would take them 10 years to get the same cash they've just invested into it. However, they can then resell on, you know what I mean? So it doesn't mean they need to wait 10 years to make the money, because they own the $300 million they initially invested into it. Another thing to bear in mind too is that, if they're going to put such money into it, don't think they're just going to throw a party on the game. Like, let's say you've spent a lot of money on something. Are you going to go gate crash it and just, blow it up and destroy it and turn it to nothing? And you've got to remember that as well. That's why I'm not too fazed by it all, because surely if they're putting that much into it, they're going to be looking out for the best interest of the game. Of course, they're going to, they might have seen an opportunity. Like, Jagex made 23 million last year, and I'd say it was a good year for them, because we had Deadman mode. It definitely revived the game. There was a lot of things last year which, added to the revenue. Nothing like the years before. I believe it was 50 million one year. Look at their total revenue as well, 700 million. So realistically, and I know just from, I can see it really going downhill from here, if I'm honest with you, or at least being stable. So unless they make any drastic changes, you see the company that bought it, they could have in their minds areas they really want to capitalize on. Like, they could look at the game, the business model, and say, right, there's areas there where we could just make a lot of money. Why aren't they doing that? We're going to put this money in and go and do it. And then after a few years say, right, we're out, we're done. Let's sell up and let's go on with what we made. And they won't really care too much about the players or you guys, you know. I think too many care for the game and don't understand that everything is business. You need to understand that anything in life boils down to figures, numbers, and it all is business. As much as like RuneScape is a product, do you really think the owner or whoever made this purchase like looked at this as a game? Well, of course he had to. He had to know what he was buying into. It's like if you go and buy a nightclub, you need to know a bit about the industry and what it is. But he's not going to be cared about your Iron Man and the fact that you have to mine iron ores and someone can go buy gold next to you. You get what I'm saying? So as much as they understand and they know what it is, like, they're really not going to be too fussed. You know, I see too many Iron Man, and not just Iron Man, like, you know, people in general moaning about all the mechanics of the game, and just understand that these guys are just all money, it's all business, it's back and forth. But at the same time, they don't want to disappoint you. They don't want to make you sad or unhappy, because then you'll leave and they'll get no money from you. So there's got to be a fine balance. Anyways, guys, I think I've summed that up now. Shandong Hongda Mining to acquire Jagex, right? $300 million in cash. We'll see where it takes us. Just wanted to update you on this. I know it's a hot topic. You can comment any thoughts down below. I know a lot of you will like to share your business expertise on this. So drop a like if you've enjoyed this, subscribe if you are new, and I will catch you in the next video.